Hello, I'm your host, Dustin Wynn, and welcome to SPOTcast. I'm joined by my guests Shauna,
Good morning.
Andrew,
Hi.
and Zoe.
Hello.
Recently, many tech giants like Amazon and Android have been exposed to have been taking customers' information, in many cases without the customer's permission. More than 1,000 Android apps have been found to have been trespassing on personal privacy and take personal information behind the customer's back. Similarly, the Amazon Echo and Echo Dot have been exposed to record question patterns, voices, and other speech by the customer. How much info should companies be allowed to access in order to improve service? Are you, as someone living in a world where technology is a necessity, okay with this? This is SPOTcast. Do you use a device often? If not, why?
Yes, I use my iPad and Xbox like 3 or 4 times a day.
In a normal day, I use my phone quite a bit.
Normally, no, just use electronics half the day, do other things the other half of the day.
Personally, I use my devices only when I have some free time and I'm kind of bored and not really doing any other stuff. If the companies disclose that they take your information during the launch of that product, would you still buy their products?
No.
I would probably stay away from it.
No, not at all.
Do you think taking your information is a necessity for them?
I think it depends on the company. Like, usually companies will just take your phone number and email, but if it's like Amazon, they're going to need your address so they can ship you packages.
I agree. I think unless they actually need that information to benefit their company and you, then they don't need it.
No, I feel like they would have to need the information and not want it.
I think in some cases taking some information is needed, but in others I just think it's just not needed and the company shouldn't take those information from the customer. Do you want companies to know your information?
Yes and no. I mean, they need to know like the basic stuff, like, you know, as I said before, phone number, like email address, but I think but if it's a different company, but anything other than that, they don't really need it.
I agree. If they want to know anything like personal or anything about my family history, then they don't need it at all.
I feel the same, but I feel like they would need to know some information about you for safety reasons, but otherwise they shouldn't need to know more than they need to.
How far do you think is too far when taking your information?
Well, I think too far is like, if they don't need your address and they have your address, that's too far. Like, if they have your family members' addresses or like your social security number, or they have like information on your bank account when they're not like a banking company, or like your search history or your recent purchases, I think that's too far.
I agree. If they already have the amount of information that they need and they have more, or they take more from you or know more about you, then that's too far.
Completely agree. You're going too far if they know everything about you and other people in your family.
I think too far would be if they could know where you are, what you're doing, whatever you're doing at any time in the day, because they're taking your information. Do you think the company's employees know that they're taking information?
Like the higher ups and like the supervisors, I think they most definitely know, but like the newer employees, I don't think they really know.
Yeah, I think maybe only a select group of the employees might know.
I feel like most of the employees would know, but they either would care about it or don't care about it.
Would you work at a company that takes information?
It really depends on the annual salary.
I probably would not.
I most definitely would not.
I probably wouldn't for morality issues and just it being wrong. Would you feel differently if it was different companies that take information?
Yes, like for instance, like if it's like a banking company, they don't need to know your like healthcare. But if it's like an actual healthcare company, they need to know like your family records to see if anyone in your family had like a history of mental illness. But so they do need to know that. But yeah.
Yeah, I think just in general, if they take more information than they actually need, it's just not right.
For safety reasons, yes, but other companies that don't need the information that's not required for said company, no.
How many companies do you think take information?
Probably hundreds, thousands, maybe all of them. Actually, probably all of them.
I think all companies to some extent.
Most definitely all companies.
I think all of them do take information in some way or another, but I do think some of them only stick to what they absolutely need in comparison to the vast majority of them. What steps would you take to solve the problem?
I would if the app or device that's taking my data, I would delete it or like get rid of it and try to get away from it.
I would definitely become more distant from all the products and apps and everything that takes my information.
Avoid just about anything that requires my information for things that really shouldn't need it in the first place.
Do you think the situation will become worse?
If the companies that are taking your data don't face consequences and they keep doing it, then yes, I definitely think the situation will become worse.
I agree. I think if it's not stopped now, then as technology grows, so will the problem.
Yes, especially without protest of what's going on.
I think the problem will definitely become worse if some serious action isn't taken and that the governments don't step in. Then I think the problem will definitely become worse. Would you consider a tech-free life if the problem got too big?
For me, yes, definitely. Unless my job makes me use technology, I fix computers for a job, then I don't really need it. I personally find it easier. I would find it easy to live a technology-free life. I mean, some people just grow attached to their devices.
I agree. I would definitely step away from all the technology. Just we are growing up in such a technology-based world, so I feel like unless my career or school requires it, I would step away from it.
Maybe because technology is required in schools and most businesses, but I feel like I would most definitely step away from it.
And that will do it for this episode of SPOTcast. I'd like to thank my guests Shauna,
Goodbye.
Andrew,
Bye.
and Zoe.
Bye.
For Spot 127, I'm Dustin Wynn.